Debt can feel like a never-ending storm. Every month, the minimum payments seem to barely touch the balance, and the interest keeps piling on. Like many people, I had multiple credit cards, a small personal loan, and a lingering medical bill. I was frustrated, overwhelmed, and tired of seeing my money disappear into interest payments. That's when I decided to try the Snowball method. I had heard so many success stories about it, a methodical, psychological approach to debt repayment that could help people regain control of their finances. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I was willing to give it a try. Over the next several months, I carefully tracked my progress, celebrated each milestone, and learned lessons that no book or article could fully prepare me for. Today we will talk about I tried the Snowball method. Here's what happened. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The first step in my Snowball journey was understanding exactly how much I owed. I collected every bill, statement, and loan record and created a complete list of all my debts. I listed them from the smallest balance to the largest, regardless of the interest rate. This is the key to the Snowball method. It focuses on quick wins by paying off the smallest debts first. The psychological impact of seeing debts disappear one by one is central to why the Snowball method works, even if it doesn't always save the most money in interest. For me, seeing the first debt vanish within a month or two created a sense of momentum that I had never experienced with other repayment strategies. Once I had my list, I calculated my monthly budget. I tracked every dollar of income and every expense. This wasn't just about figuring out how much I could pay toward debt. It was about understanding my financial patterns. I discovered recurring expenses that were unnecessary or could be reduced, like subscription services I rarely used, frequent takeout meals, and excessive shopping. I redirected every extra dollar toward my debt snowball, creating a single, focused pool of money to attack my smallest balances first. As I started paying off the smallest debts, I noticed an immediate boost in motivation. The first one was a medical bill of $200. While it was minor compared to my other debts, paying it off completely within a month gave me a psychological victory. I felt a sense of control that had been missing for years. The second was a small credit card balance of $450. Paying that off in the next month reinforced the pattern. Momentum builds when you see tangible progress. The Snowball method relies heavily on this behavioral principle. Success breeds motivation, which drives consistency. I also learned that the Snowball method requires discipline. While it's tempting to divert extra funds toward higher interest debts first, the key is to stick with the smallest debt until it's gone. This was challenging at times. For example, I had a 19% interest credit card that I wanted to attack immediately, but I reminded myself that the psychological boost from paying off smaller balances first would ultimately keep me more consistent and committed to the overall repayment plan. The mental reinforcement was worth the slight extra interest I paid along the way. Another important lesson I learned was about automation. I set up automatic payments for all my debts, ensuring that the minimum payment for every account was made on time. This prevented late fees and ensured that my focus remained on the debt I was actively targeting. Automating payments also reduced stress. I didn't have to constantly track due dates for every single account, which allowed me to focus on earning extra income and reducing discretionary spending. To accelerate the snowball, I explored ways to increase my income. I took on freelance work, sold items I no longer needed, and even did small side gigs over weekends. Every extra dollar earned went directly to the next debt in my snowball. I quickly realized that combining increased income with a disciplined payment plan created a powerful compounding effect. The debts melted faster than I had anticipated, and the satisfaction of paying off one after another was addictive. I also had to address my spending habits. The snowball method works best when new debt isn't added during the repayment process. I implemented strict rules for myself. No new credit cards, no unnecessary purchases, and using cash or debit whenever possible. This was challenging at first, but I learned to differentiate between wants and needs and developed a much healthier relationship with money. Over time, I began to view debt repayment not just as a chore, but as an empowering activity that brought me closer to financial freedom. Tracking progress visually made a huge difference. I created a simple chart showing each debt, the starting balance, and how much remained. Each time a debt was fully paid, I marked it off dramatically. This visual feedback reinforced my commitment and made the process feel like a game, one where every victory mattered. By the time I was halfway through my debt list, I was hooked on the sense of achievement, which fueled my consistency and focus. Interest rates were an interesting factor during this process. While the snowball method doesn't prioritize high-interest debt first, I still paid attention to how interest accumulated. Some debts had high rates, but because the psychological momentum kept me disciplined, I eventually reached those larger, higher-interest balances with more consistency. I realized that the snowball method isn't just about raw math, it's about behavioral psychology. The motivation gained from early wins makes tackling larger, more intimidating debts possible without burnout. Unexpected challenges arose as well. Life is unpredictable, and during my repayment journey, unexpected expenses popped up, like car maintenance and medical bills. I learned the importance of keeping a small emergency fund so that I could continue following the snowball plan without interruption. Even $500 to $1,000 as a buffer can prevent a single unexpected cost from derailing your progress. The combination of an emergency fund and a disciplined snowball approach created resilience in my financial plan. Another key realization was that communicating with creditors can help. In one instance, I negotiated a lower interest rate on a credit card while I focused on smaller debts. This didn't dramatically change the snowball order, but it made the eventual payoff of larger debts more manageable. Many people avoid contacting creditors, but a simple phone call explaining your repayment plan can yield surprisingly helpful results. By the time I reached the largest debt, which was a $6,500 credit card balance, I had developed a strong habit and a clear sense of financial discipline. The snowball had built momentum, and paying off the largest debt felt less intimidating because of the psychological skills I had developed along the way. I allocated every extra dollar toward this final balance, fully understanding how to avoid unnecessary spending and maximize repayments. The feeling of eliminating this last debt was indescribable, a combination of relief, pride, and empowerment. The snowball method also taught me long-term money management skills. Beyond the immediate goal of debt repayment, I gained a better understanding of budgeting, responsible credit usage, and strategic financial planning. I learned to live below my means, automate payments, and monitor progress visually, which will benefit me for years to come. The method isn't just about paying off debt quickly. It's about cultivating behaviors that prevent future debt accumulation. In retrospect, trying the snowball method was transformative. Not only did I clear $10,000 in debt in under a year, but I also developed a mindset that values discipline, patience, and consistency. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.